what an incredible effort by the men of Virginia lacrosse. And to outground ball an athletic and talented Duke team by 19 and to win 6 ground balls in the overtime period when everyone's exhausted. Boy, we showed the hearts of lions, and we did, the men did everything this coaching staff could have ever asked for. And that's why I hold my head high. You know, we're all gutted inside that the season's over. We just want more time together, and that's what we just talked about in there. We want Matt Nunes back in the goal. We want all those defensemen in front of them, and the leadership from Ben Ware, Noah Chismar, and Jack Walsh. But you got to win the game, and we didn't do that. So, but I have to tell you, I am just incredibly grateful for the intensity, the ferocity that we played defense with after the first 2 minutes, and then just the passion that we competed with today.
Did you feel you had several possessions up one, that if you could get that 2-goal lead, that would a little bit of separation, that would really put even more pressure on Duke?
Sure, right. Because our 6v6 defense was in a good rhythm. And we did have a few big stops there with George Fulton. Wow, he was just snaring, 80-mile-an-hour passes out of the air. I mean, it was unbelievable. And there were a couple times to see if we can get that 2-goal lead, and then Thomas Delgado obviously ties with about 4 minutes left. But we certainly had some chances. I mean, heck, the face-off eggs didn't start off well, but then, wow, we got going there. And Andrew Greenspan got us some big ones, especially the one in overtime. So we're all gutted because of the loss, but tremendously, just the tremendous amount of pride with how we played and competed and battled. And, we showed that we're just about the toughest team as there is in the country today.
It seems like the message from a lot of the guys and from you is how close this team is. Just how did you see that sort of come out today and throughout the season, despite worse results than maybe expected?
Yeah, it really is a close-knit team, and that's hard to do when you lose as many games as we did.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of coaches who will say things like that, and but if the guys are not BSing you, they're telling you the truth, and because we all feel it. It's just this connectivity, and I just give tremendous credit to the leadership. We're going to really miss these 4th years and the 5th years who were here with us, Ben Ware and Jack Walsh, and it's like I don't know how they did it, but every week we had supercharged Tuesday practices and Wednesday practices, and we were gung-ho, believing we're going to win this weekend, despite what not having the greatest success the weekend before. So it's a real testament to the men, and they're believing in themselves, and this team. They leave their final season, the 4th and 5th years, without the victory, without the NCAA tournament, but they have an incredible legacy of cohesiveness. We could be having team defensive meetings, and I've got men who are 4th and 5th years who don't play much, contributing as much as the starters. The full engagement in our discussions and our collaborations, it's top to bottom, and that's what's really, I'm never going to forget this group for that.
What's your message in the huddle and in the locker room after a result like that?
Yeah, it's just that, fellas, we showed that we were the tougher team today. I mean, 19 more ground balls. The heart was there, and the belief in each other. Like, what else could a coach want when you've got a group of tough warriors who believe in each other? I mean, what else could I want? So I just told them we're grateful for them, and also said I didn't want to leave that locker room. Because no one else outside this locker room really understands how much this hurts. The parents do, I get it, the alums do, but man, this crew, we've done so much together, and we hate to see it end. So.
You said earlier this week that you guys needed to play to a level that you hadn't this season. Do you think you reached a different level today?
I do. I really do. I think we did play our best lacrosse today, and it was obviously after the first minute and 50 seconds when they scored those 3 goals right out the jump. And it was like, whoa. But I was like, okay, fellas, chip away. And they believed. And so you're right. Whereas maybe some other teams I've coached or other years, we're like, oh, this isn't our day. I think we did put forward an incredible effort today.
What do you think will be the key when you go into the off season? You start building toward next season to, have a year that lasts longer, the kind of year you're accustomed to.
I know, you're right. Just you saying, hey, here comes the off season. And it's like, oh wow, you're right. We got to start thinking about that. All I want to do is be with these guys tomorrow, lifting weights and getting ready for an ACC opponent in Charlotte. We're certainly going to take the opportunity to learn from a tough season, what we didn't do well as coaches, and we got to address needs up and down the lineup. So it's 6-8 is not acceptable. It's I didn't do my job well, and we got to make sure we get the right men in the right places. But the mindset, the culture, sometimes you want to say, hey, we got to make a lot of changes, but the wisdom is what you don't change, that is consistent, and what the seniors and the legacy that they've left, we got to maintain that.
When you look back at that overtime period, is there anything that you think you could have done better, or is it just sort of how it fell?
Yeah, it's interesting when you lose in overtime. Each of the men and the coaching staff, you'll think about all the little things you could have done different. And as the head coach, you probably have a little bit more say in timeouts, and you have a little bit more say. It's only been a few minutes now, but I don't know if we're doing anything different. We win the face-off, we take a shot, we pick up the ball, I call timeout, we get an opportunity, good look. We ride the ball back, we get another good look. Their goalie makes 2 great saves. And then there's another. We get got another chance to clear the ball. So I don't think we would change a thing. Unfortunately, it was just
Throughout the game, I think Schutz and Millen combined for 22 out of the team's 43 shots. Is that, first of all, is that something you want to happen, and how does that develop into the way it happens?
Yeah, I mean it's McCabe's a great player, so him shooting is usually a good thing. So we like that. And Schutz, we've leaned on Schutz to be our best midfielder, and so he takes 12 shots today, and I want him taking that shot, and he takes that shot in overtime. That's the shot we want him to take, and he stepped up. He had the courage to take that shot and the belief in himself. So it's I thought Coach Cassis did a really nice job, maneuvering and making the defense for Duke somewhat uncomfortable. Duke's defense stepped up and made some nice plays too. Don't get me wrong, and the goalie was great. But I thought Kevin Cassis orchestrated a nice effort there. And so if Schutz is at the receiving end of that rotation of the ball, or McCabe is, so be it. Let it rip.
How much did this group just mean to you this year, especially kind of going through some of the more tougher times this season for you guys?
Yeah, it really was. This is one of those meaningful teams. Again, it's so easy to say, 6-8. Let's wash our hands of that season and move forward, and we will have to. No matter what. I don't want to move forward from these men though. Noah Chismar, what an incredible leader. George Fulton. You guys just talked to. I mean, man, I hate the fact that the next time they're at Klockner, they're over on that side, instead of right here. I'm gonna really miss them.
What was it like? Just the atmosphere playing in front of all these alums, all these It got quite loud, especially when you're on defense.
I loved it. I loved how loud it was when we were man down. And try to create disrupting the Duke man up. I love that we had Harlem lacrosse athletes were here today with some of their coaches. I love that we did Morgan's Message, which is a fantastic organization. But yeah, it's really about the alums. Those guys coming back. The class of the 1970 National Championship team, 55 years out. And Mark Van Arsdale, an incredible coach. He's got 11 national championship rings himself as a player and as a coach through his different stops at Hobart and Virginia, and all the men who are back. I mean, it's really special, especially because we haven't had the greatest year, and yet they're still coming back and expressing how much they care and love this program. That was really special.